I guess without further ado, we'll just go ahead and introduce ourselves. Silver.
Hi, everybody. I am Silver underscore Bulette here on Twitch and over on YouTube as well. You can find any of my old video content there. Tonight, I will be playing Fensiris, who is a gem dragonborn rogue. That's me.
Jaden.
Hey, I'm Jaden. I also go by Soliloquy. I use they, them pronouns, and I will be playing a tiefling barbarian named Grief. Grief uses he, they pronouns and uses a combat wheelchair. The combat wheelchair is designed by Sarah Thompson. You can find them on Twitter at Mustangs Art. And I am an ambulatory wheelchair user, and that is why I choose to use a chair in game.
Awesome. Penny.
Hello, my name is Penny. I use she, her pronouns. I'm playing Gift, who is a human multi-class druid. Oh, goodness. What's the name of that other class?
Warlock.
Warlock. Thank you. And yeah, so nice to meet you.
And I am Archangelic, but everyone calls me Mal. I'm Archangelic online. My pronouns are she, her. And without further ado, we will get started. So after leaving your wormling friend Max in the care of the druids of Coralon's Rest, your party headed back into town. You're trying to head back to Brambles upon the river via the town of Coralon's Rest. Hopefully on a journey back to save Gift's sister Vitha and maybe follow up on a job of getting some information and maybe driving some cultists out of the area. On the road, however, you were beset upon by the cultists, including the Blue Draconian that had attacked Brambles upon the river. After quickly dispatching them, the Blue Draconian running off, you made your way back into the town of Coralon's Rest, where you saw it laid to waste. The cult had clearly been through with the dragon, the same dragon that attacked the town of Brambles upon the river. But they had since cleared out, robbing the town of so much and leaving ruins in their wake. You decided to help assist the clerics of the Order of the Hospitallers of Ilmater, of the Broken God, and in helping people kind of triage. And that's basically where we are. You were all resting, you were all doing things. I know that Gift, you wanted to look for a wizard to make them have a bad day. So you've been here you've spent most of the day here, and as night falls on the town, and you all try to get some rest, I imagine you go looking for this. Give me an investigation check.
Alrighty. Let's take a look here. 7.
Okay. It takes you a while. You're on the lookout. Eventually you see in one of the ruins of, it looks like it maybe once was a clothing store or something like that, but it's since been robbed of the finery, probably by kobolds, as you imagine they came through here as well, as they did in Brambles. And it's cleared out, but you can see as you take a couple hours through the night, you're just kind of walking the streets, and it's quiet. There's still rain in the air, but you see that there is lantern light from the back, and there are people. A few people enter, a few people leave. None of them seem happy when they leave.
Okay. Well, I'm going to observe for a bit first. If I need to be quiet about that, I'm happy to do that.
Okay. Do you want to remain out of sight?
Not necessarily to be out of sight, but out of mind is definitely a goal.
Okay. That feels like a charisma stealth roll. If you're proficient in stealth, you can add it to a normal charisma roll.
Alrighty, sounds good.
So
there it goes.
charisma proficiency.
Dirty 20.
20. Yeah, no one pays you any mind. I mean, you look like a peasant. I mean, you just kind of blend into everyone else here. But you see someone comes in with you're there for a little while and you see a man. He has like a bag full of just things. Like there, you can see that there's like a tapestry, something like that. He goes in, he spends some time in there, and you see him come out with an empty bag
Okay.
and just a dour look on his face and the dejection as he walks away from this place.
Okay. And what is the I guess when I get closer, what games are being played or what's being done here?
So you look in as you look into this place and you see that there is a wizard in his red robes, clearly an apprentice.
Okay.
Not a full-fledged wizard. They wear slightly different robes. A younger human man.
Okay.
And at a table with just a pile of stuff behind him. On the table, though, you see 5 healing potions.
Okay. All right. So 5 healing potions and then just like a bunch of people's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what's the game?
They are playing some kind of card game.
Okay. I'm gonna watch the card game for a few rounds,
Mm-hmm.
see if I can figure out the rules.
Yeah, it's almost like a poker kind of game.
Okay.
There's betting involved. There's it seems to be dealt 1 card at a time.
Okay.
With betting at each round, and they're given 3 cards, and you can either fold or up your bet, kind of that kind of structure.
Yeah, various combinations. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next thing to do is I'm gonna check for cheating.
Okay.
Okay, let's do that. I assume that's an insight.
Yeah, insight could work here.
Oof, that's 5.
You're not sure, but just on your own, like kind of internal bias, like this wizard is winning a little too much.
Right. I mean, I'm assuming there's cheating going on, but I was
Yeah.
looking to see if I could prove it.
You don't know if you could prove it, but it seems the luck is definitely skewed in this room. Like some people will still win a hand or two, but overwhelmingly the house is winning.
Okay. All right, and last but not least, I have the magic eyes from being a warlock. I'm going to check and see if the cards are enchanted, if there's any obvious magical skullduggery going on.
Yeah. You detect magic in here. 100%. This wizard has a mage hand at play.
Got it.
Is moving the cards as during the shuffle with a mage hand with some just small cantrips.
Got it.
Something a normal person probably wouldn't notice or know what to do about.
Okay. All right. So, given all of that, we are going to get into this game. And I have, so the deck itself is normal, it sounds like. It's just the mage hand is the problem?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to wait until there isn't that many people left.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then I'm going to jump into this game. And I think the way I want to play this is, since I know they're cheating in the shuffle, I'm going to cheat in the round. I have my own deck, and I am going to supplant cards. I'm going to hold cards. I'm going to do traditional cheating.
Okay.
Because the way they're cheating won't actually stop my cheating.
Right. Yeah. So you come in to the table and says, the wizard says, we have a new player, and just kind of rubs his hands. And he says, what was he going to say? He says, my name is Darren. May I have your name?
Pleasure to meet you, Darren. And says, You may call me Leaf.
Well, I'm pleased to meet you. So, there's no particular limit on the buy-in, just whatever seems interesting.
She's not going to hide what she's interested in. She's
Mhm.
interested in the healing potions. So she's going to put what she hopes is an equivalent bet and make it clear that that's what she wants.
Okay. He says, "Oh, well, if we're playing for the healing potions, we'll need a buy-in of at least 25 gold."
Okay, let's see. We'll put down 15 gold and a light crossbow, which should cover the 25.
Oh, interesting. All right. Okay. Here's how the game will go. So initially, in the first round, with all of this is secret. So
Mhm.
we will roll a d8
Okay.
to start off the first round.
Both of us or just you?
Both of us will do that.
Okay.
So, and just keep it to yourself. I don't need to know what it is.
All right. Where are you? There you are. Okay. All right,
you
roll.
Yeah. So you want to what are you using to try and cheat this? So
Okay, so sleight of hand definitely I think would be the base.
mhm.
Although if I can use insight, that's certainly preferable.
Okay.
And beyond that, let me see where I'm at with that. Did not use it during the fight, so I have an 18 pulling on the fate.
Okay.
So there's a d20 roll. I can substitute an 18.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then from there we can go with whatever comes next.
Okay, so you both get your first card, and he's just going to call. He's going to keep his bet.
Okay.
So you can either you can call or raise. So
Since I don't know like the actual cards are an abstraction, I'm going to call.
okay. All right. The next round is a d6. So
Okay.
basically, it's 3 rounds: a d8, a d6, and a d4.
Okay.
And whoever has the most at the end wins the round. So,
I see. That tracks.
so okay. So I will let you do a sleight of hand, and I will let you set 1 die if you beat the DC.
Okay. So I'm going to take an 18.
Okay. So what is your sleight of hand total?
That would be 18.
18. Okay. All
I don't
right.
have a deck score.
Give me an insight check.
Okay.
As you do this.
Oof, 6. Man, I cannot roll an insight check to save my life. I am trained in that.
Okay. He rolled really bad on his deception. You would think he has a pretty good hand.
Okay.
He seems really happy with what he has.
Okay, and I have detect magic at will, so that's just on. Is he cheating yet in the way that he's been cheating?
He is not cheating yet.
Okay. All right. The last thing I want to do, since this is a dice game, well, you said it's a card game. The dice is an abstraction.
Correct.
Okay, so that wouldn't, because I have a loaded die. That's my magic item.
Okay. Yeah. No, this is a card game with dice as an
Yeah,
abstract.
gotcha.
Yeah. So he'll call on the second round too.
Okay. Well, if he calls, he calls. So will I.
Okay.
Am I able to set one of the die? Did I pass that check?
Yes, you can set 1 die. Mm-hmm.
Okay. You didn't actually say, so that was helpful. Okay, cool.
Yep, nope,
Got it.
That's my fault. You definitely can. You beat the DC.
Okay.
Awesome. And yeah, so
Roll a d4, I assume. Oh, good.
Yeah, roll a d4.
Because he called. Okay. Got it.
Okay. He says he's looking at his 3 cards. He says he looks at the pile of things he has, and he says, "How about I raise us another 5 gold?" And he'll put 5 gold into the pot.
Don't love it, but I'm too far in to back out. That's how gambling works. All right. An easy way to talk. Perfect. Cost. There is a way. All right. Well, 5 gold is a ration is exactly 5 gold, so I'll put a ration on the table.
Okay. And you see now you have his detect magic.
Mhm.
He's not even hiding it very well. He sets his cards down and he mage hands, and you full on see the card like swap quickly.
Okay. Since I can see it in process, can I either grab it or hit it with a dagger, something like that?
Yeah.
Intimidation with the dagger to be better.
Intimidation with the dagger. Go for it. Do it.
Love it. Okay. Let's roll something above a 10. There you go, dice. 21.
21. So
Beautiful.
the card slides out from the deck, and you just instantly pull the dagger from your waist and just like onto the table, and it gives that thud and just,
Right into the card.
Yep. And he immediately readies like a firebolt.
Mm-hmm.
And he says,
go ahead.
He just says, "What the hell?" And
She smiles sweet and she says, let's see, how can she say this? She says, I certainly can respect a good cheater. That's something she can say. However, I think it's simplest if we walk away. I'll take what I earned and I won't tell anybody else.
That simple act of just throwing the dagger in has pulled a few people who were just kind of hanging out in the alley behind the store, and they're just kind of peeking in.
This guy's he's in trouble and he knows it.
He says, fine, and he pulls out a bag of holding and he just starts putting things in. He's like, he pushes 3 potions your way and starts like shoveling his stuff, taking his winnings.
All right, I will take my stuff back plus the 3 potions. And I will walk out whistling.
As he packs up shop and hightails it out of there.
I think you hurt his feelings.
Give me a perception check as you leave, though.
Oh, for sure. Natural 20, which is a 22, but I don't know if a natural 20 matters.
With a natural 20, yeah, you see that the man who initially came in with a bunch of things and came out empty, he full on pulls a dagger too, like seeing that, like, oh, he was cheating. Yeah, no, that guy's gonna have a rough night.
I mean, I mean, obviously I'm a cheater, so I can't say anything, but so yeah, I leave whistling and drop off the potions with the monks.
Awesome. Yeah, let me remember that monk's name.
The one who's going to become a paladin.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
Orvin, yes. Yeah, I'll find Orvin, who probably is asleep, so I will just leave them with a note if he is.
Mm-hmm.
Generously donated.
Yeah, he has his like as he's sleeping, he's like almost like instinctually holding on to the cords of his arm, like in his sleep, like almost in like a prayer bead kind of fashion.
Yeah, that totally tracks. Yeah, I'll just leave a note. Generously donated by a wealthy benefactor. Sincerely, Gift.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you imagine that this wizard shouldn't have been doing this in the first place. Like, this would not be sanctioned by anyone, but that's
no worries. I'm true neutral. He can do whatever he wants.
You can do whatever you want. Just don't get mad when you get caught.
Exactly.
You outwitted him. Like, he tried. He rolled a 6 on the deception to pull that off, and there was no way. Not with the detect magic in play.
Mm-hmm. Not when you can watch the spell. So
right.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, Mal. Gambling is a very important part of her characters.
Absolutely. This was a simple enough game to run. I think it's from Critical Role, but they might play it a little differently there, but I just found the rules for it. So
cool.
Yeah. Cool. What is everyone else doing for the night?
Fenn is probably just helping with transporting stuff until bedtime. And then, I mean, like at some point, she probably told everyone in the party, as much as I'd like to stick around and help them, I think we were going to help this town out a lot more if we track down the people who did this, which is kind of our goal, anyways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally agree.
It's all going the same direction for sure.
So, yeah,
So we rest up and head out tomorrow.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Billy Bob has been sleeping most of the day and into the night, considering that he
Fair.
went down in battle.
Yeah.
Though if you were to ask him at any point, he was awake. Looking for the people who you've been in this place, and not only was it destroyed, it was ransacked. People's things were taken, like the kobolds, very similar to what was happening in Brambles. They took it, and I'll put it on a cart and took it with them. Just people's metal belongings, anything, precious metals, semi-precious metals.
Buckles.
Yeah, just various things. Silks from the clothing shop, like you were in, like anything that would be deemed slightly valuable, is seemed to be what they were after, more than hurting people. Although there was definitely a level of intimidation and having a flying over dragon. But as morning comes, let me pull up the calendar Sphera. What's nice about this calendar is that it gives me weather reports, and it's still raining.
Oh,
So-
that's awesome.
Yeah, it generates weather based on seasons and things, and you can give it like the location. It's really cool. It's a really cool thing. All right, yeah, it is still raining. It's still a very hot day, so it's like as you like wake up, it's just sticky and muggy, even though it's actively raining.
Yeah, the worst.
Yeah, those of us who have lived in the South know that well.
Mhm.
And yeah, so you wake up, Orvin comes to you, gift, and just like thanks you profusely, he brings you into a hug, and then thinks for a second, like didn't know if that was okay, and then kind of pulls himself back. He says, I'm not gonna ask where you got it.
She shakes her head.
But thank you. This is gonna help so much.
She nods, probably winks to be honest, and then writes on her chalkboard, it's all about balance, and holds it up.
He contemplates that for a moment and says, okay, okay. You see, the thought of a new core ethos coming up.
Mhm.
Billy Bob is awake and attending to the horse. He seems to be doing much better. He has though he hasn't waxed his mustache, so it's like a little like sagged, and with the humidity, like he was gonna have to use some extra wax to begin with. So he's looking a little worse for wear, but he's up and about, and he gets the cart ready, and he says he comes to you all and says, well, we off to deal with these ne'er-do-wells.
Yeah, I think we're ready and good to go.
Gift nods.
He looks to you and says, do any of y'all know where to start looking for them?
Gift points southwest. That's what we were told.
Yeah, look at my hand drawn map here. Yeah, so yeah, if you go back southwest, yeah, so
Is the
Yeah.
bird still going at this point?
Yeah, it's true.
Gonna ask
There is the
that
bird.
too.
the spell does say, like, okay, so full disclosure, I know
Yeah.
that's not how paper birds work. I don't care.
I mean, I don't know. So that's what I went with.
Before somebody writes in the comments that, oh, if you restrict its motion, it just crumples up and dies. No, that's which is kind of cool from a security aspect, but you're the person who was sending it, so yeah,
We are not a super serious, every rule must be followed kind of group, I don't think.
So no, that bird is kind of just in your pocket, kind of pointing in the direction. Yeah, and it is southwest, so it's looking to be delivered to your sister.
Right. So yeah, points at the bird. Yeah.
All right. Um all right, so yeah, you continue out. Um Orvin will say, if you all need anything else, please seek me out. The hospitalers will be happy to help you. Um and sees you out of the town of Coralon's Rest. A little bit better than when you left it. Than when you arrived earlier the previous day. So at least there's that. And I would like all of you to, as you travel, and it's going to take the better part of a day to get back into the area of Brambles upon the river. But as you do, you can either use the space, or we can have you do survival checks or investigation to try and track down the cultists.
I was going to say, Gift, you probably should be up front with Billy, since my understanding correctly that feathered that paper plane is drawing us towards your sister. Is that what you said before?
She nods vigorously.
Okay, yeah, maybe you should be up front.
She seems confused for a minute and then kind of goes, "Oh." She was thinking up front in a different way. She clambers up. She's like, "About what exactly?" In her mind.
Oh no.
She clambers up front.
I will probably latch up and ride behind the car.
You're a little quiet. I'm not sure.
Is it maybe just because I'm talking too quietly?
Maybe.
Does it sound better now?
Sounds a little better.
To be.
Yeah. No worries. But so you're gonna hitch up and ride on the.
Yeah, ride in the back.
Okay.
Like behind the cart.
Okay. Easy
Keep
enough
an
to
eye
do.
on things.
Your wheels are vastly superior to the cart wheels, so you don't have any trouble to that. Okay, yeah. So I would say let's make investigation, or what was the other one I said? Survival?
Survival. Yeah.
At advantage. It's your choice, because you do have the direction that the paper bird is going.
Wait, is that all of us or just Gift?
We can do all of you. So
Yeah.
That was a natural 20 for Fen.
Nice.
So
okay.
27 if we're using investigation.
Ooh, yeah.
Nice.
Very nice.
Rogues.
I've got a I've got a 19 investigation.
Right, cool. Let's see. Billy Bob Bones is not proficient in any of that stuff. So let's see. Yeah. Oh, he didn't do too bad. He got 19. So but with the natural 20, you can see that a heavy laden cart came through here earlier today. Something with the devastation going on, it doesn't make sense that something this heavy was moving out of Coralon's Rest. The tracks are full. There's not much rain built up into the ridges, but it's definitely put a dent into the muddy road. And also with your nat 20, you see it, and you are looking around, and you see a small like campfire in the distance. Everyone can my words. It's been a few hours of traveling and looking and everything. So the day has gone on a little bit, and you do see evidence of these tracks and footprints. You all see that. It being heavy laden, the nat 20 gets you that. Something sunk it really into this road. But you see a small campfire up ahead.
Fen, as soon as she sees the campfire up ahead, she will tap both Gift and Billy and point it out for them.
Gift nods, looks inquisitively. Any idea who it is?
Well, It's about the right amount of travel for if they decided to stop off for a little bit, especially with those like that. Their cart, whatever they were using, was heavily burdened down, so it would have taken them and their whatever animal was carrying it longer to get here. So this might be the kobolds that ransacked Coralon's Rest. Or it could be weary travelers, who knows?
Want to try to sneakily approach? Do we want to send somebody ahead to scout a little? What are you thinking?
Billy Bob pulls the sword and says, "Perhaps we should just dispatch with the brigands right away."
Well, we're not entirely sure, Billy, that they are the brigands we're looking for. It matches up. It's a weird coincidence if it's not, but we should probably, not assume.
It'd be really bad to come in like swords raised and it's just, some random people.
I mean, he's a Billy Bob Bones after my own heart. Gift, however, thinks this is a terrible plan.
I hear you.
He says, he says, indeed, perhaps a spot of diplomacy would not be out of place.
Yeah, tell you what, I can, if we hold up here, I'll scout ahead. I can keep myself fairly hidden.
Okay. So yeah, you stop the cart. You're probably, I'm gonna say probably about 100 feet from the camp. Like, it's enough that the camp is off the road into what looks like it's probably a clearing, but the tree line still kind of blocks most of your view there. Give me a stealth check.
21.
21. Okay. Yeah, you have no problem. Like, you just slink into the woods and quietly make your way there, and you don't see, so you get to this clearing, and what you see is a couple of humans in the robes of the cultists that you had fought earlier. Clearly different. You left all those dead. But they're just sitting at what looks to be like a barrel that they have taken off of a cart. This cart is not as heavily burdened as the tracks you saw, but they are definitely part of this cult. And you see that there is on their cart is like a partially covered cage, and you see a kobold inside, maybe a few kobolds.
Huh.
And they're just sitting, smoking, having some food. Seems like they're taking a break off the road.
I will sneak back over to the crew and tell them what I saw, and say, so I thought if y'all get a little bit closer, don't get too close, but I think I might be able to get a little information out of them if we don't straight up attack.
Okay.
But there are 3 of them out of cages, so I want to make sure I've got some cover fire if things go poorly.
For sure.
Billy will pull out a longbow, and he says, I can definitely provide you some cover.
Appreciate it.
He's gonna try his best to stealth. Okay, it's not too bad.
All right.
So yeah, if all of you are making your way over there, please give me stealth checks.
Well, this is going to go well. 15.
15, not bad.
11.
11. Okay.
I was 16 on the way back there.
Okay. Billy Bob got a 14, so not the worst.
16, 15, 14, and an 11. It's all above 10.
Yeah.
That's all we ask.
Yeah. Yeah, overall, a good group stealth check. So, you all succeed on hiding on your way over there, and you come to the tree line, and yeah, you all see this scene. They're just these 2 humans, a man and a woman in the cult clothing. The man has a patchy beard, and the woman kind of just dark brown hair, just pulled back. And yeah, they're just kind of sitting on some crates and things that they pulled off of the cart to kind of take a break.
All right. Of the three, who looks the most uneasy?
Give me an insight check.
All right. What's my insight? Not great. That's an 11.
If you had to make a guess, you would say the woman is keeping the most of an eye out of the surroundings. She's kind of sitting back with the man sitting like across from her with his back towards the road, and she's kind of keeping an eye on the road.
Okay. So what I'm going to try to do, Finn is going to sneak up behind. Well, first she's going to signal to the others to point their arrows at the two or that are not the man with his back to the road. And then she's going to sneak up on the man with his back to the road and pull out one of her normal daggers. And if she can get close enough, she's going to hold him by the neck.
Okay. Yeah, with your stealth roll, that's easy enough to do. Let me see. Yeah, no. The kobolds don't even notice you. Of course they weren't going to, but you know, it's fine. So you do this and you put your knife up to him, and then you see, as if from the shadows of the trees in this area, a horned figure appear and takes their, like, a staff forms, and they pull their staff to the neck as this tiefling appears in like in kind of these very comfortable simple cotton clothing, and pulls their staff up to the woman and says and just turns to you, and she says, great minds. And she has her staff. So you both all see this too. And let me just double check something. As from the tree line, just a little bit further up from where y'all are, a radiant bolt of light flies from the tree line into the campfire, creating like this kind of flashbang.
Okay.
And you see, yeah, it's not that strong. It's enough to like just kind of disorient a little bit, but it's not like Constitution save worthy at this point. But for these cultists, it's definitely disorienting. And let me pull up this here.
So this is like a different adventuring party?
Yes.
That's amazing.
And as and the one that the monk, you see the cage that the kobolds have lift up from the cart into the air, as if like by some magic, and you see another human woman casting this spell walks out of the forest. Like her eyes are glowing as she's holding concentration on this spell.
Nice.
She's just wearing, seems like, common clothes. The cloak, the like overcloak she's wearing is just kind of frumpy and well worn. You don't see where you see also a dwarf is following her with a shield in hand, full plate armor, scuffed and dirty. And she's just like holding a defensive position as they make their way from the tree line to this camp. And the tiefling says, what's your name? Just holding the guy there.
We'll get to that in a little bit. First, as you can see, you're kind of surrounded. So a couple of things are going to happen. First, we'd like a little information about your little organization and figure out exact locations and things like that. Secondly, you're going to make some better life choices if you want to continue on with the breathing thing.
All of you are free to act. Fen, give me an intimidation check.
That's a 5.
Go and roll it at advantage. Enough has happened.
Okay. 8.
8. Okay.
Better.
He just says "fuck you," and like he's
Yep,
just like
that's fair.
struggling against your knife, and the tiefling says, "I'm Bree, by the way," and just and like does something like takes her 2 fingers and just like taps into the neck, and like the woman is just stunned and just slumps to the floor.
Vulcan neck pinch. Shit.
And I'm going to tell you, I can't do that to you. So I'd suggest you start talking. I don't even know what that was.
I think Grief will approach the person that Fen is on with great sword in hand, and hold it up to him as well, to them as well.
Gift can't believe she rolled a 16. She stayed in hiding.
Yeah. Billy Bob is
For
just
15.
he's just kind of stunned, speechless. He's like, "Well, this is certainly interesting." And he's just kind of watching the show. He's just like waiting for a signal to like loose an arrow. But and this tiefling just walks up to the man and he says, "You really should listen to him. I mean, I don't have a blade to cut you, but she certainly does." And like squatted down to his eye level to make this check, like she's gonna intimidate. That's 15. So he says, okay. He just like kind of like lets his hands go. He puts his hands up and he's just going to surrender. He says, "What do you want?"
Well, there's a few things. I'm going to start with just a very weird question. Why are the kobolds in a cage? Are you not working together? What is this relationship?
He says, "Kobolds are disgusting creatures." He says, "You can't trust them, and we keep them in cages. It's safer for everyone."
Mm-hmm.
And you hear the kobolds in Draconic, "Let us out! Let us out! We got gold, so much gold." And they're just like all talking over each other like that. There's 3 of them in the cage, just like, and this cage is just like tumbling because they won't stick still in this levitation spell. They keep trying to climb the wall, which since the whole thing, if balance is just spinning.
I love kobolds.
Oh yeah.
Mountains of gold.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm shocked in those work conditions they still work for you. We're gonna do something about that. But anyway, no, more importantly though, where can we find your boss? Because we have a couple of customer complaints we'd like to levy.
He says, like, "I don't know who like the boss is. My boss is that blue dragon creature thing guy. He's at the main camp. Where they're
Okay.
bringing all the treasure."
All right. Another important question. What are you doing with the kidnapped victims? What is this? Can you explain?
He says, "I don't know. The boss asked for that. I don't know. I just do what I'm told."
Where's this main camp that you're talking about?
He says, "It's like 5 miles up the road. It's you take a little." He said, "There's a small like abandoned farm 5 miles up the road. There's like a ravine on that farm. It's in the ravine."
Perfect.
He says, "Can I live?"
I'm just gonna look around at all the other party members from both parties, apparently.
Right.
Can we just dispose of these? Like, do we need to keep these guys alive?
Yeah, the tiefling will lean down again and he says, "Do you know where a woman named Vitha is?" And he says, I don't know." And the tiefling will say, "Last I heard, she got picked up by a dragon." And he says, "Well, there was a couple of people. If it was in Brambles, they're at the camp. They're prisoners. I don't know what they want them for. I promise."
Gift nods to herself at this good news.
So Fen's going to do something right now. She's going to use her psionic connections, and she's going to speak into this dude's mind. And she's going to say to him, all right, here's the deal. You're going to change your life. You're going to make some changes. You're a great farmer. You know that? You're going to make a great farmer. And that's what you're going to do with your life. And I'm going to know because I'm in your head now. And I can keep track of that. So as long as you keep on the straight and narrow, we're good. If you go back to the cult, we're not good. Understood?
He says, yeah, I can grow like potatoes or something. He says this out loud. He doesn't quite understand what's happening.
Right.
He's like, yeah, I can do that.
Potatoes are delicious.
They're good in soup.
Potato. Yes.
He says, yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. So outside of his head, Fen will say, we're going to let him leave. He's never going to return. And he knows he's going to become a farmer.
Say so. Grief will lower their sword.
If nods to yourself with this too. Becoming a farmer seems sensible.
Much better life path.
Fen will take her dagger away from the guy's neck.
He starts to go towards the cart, and Bree says, and she points to the woman. Take your friend. She points to the woman that she stunned, and he comes back and like scoops up the other cultist and starts taking her to the cart and says, well, and the tiefling who's here, she has like this like baby blue skin, these like rams, like circling ram's horns, very tight
Very
circles. And yeah, she's wearing just like, it's very light, almost, I'd say it's like a gi style, but it's a little bit more comfortable than that. A little bit more everyday wear, but it's very light movement for movement. And she says, she turns to the wizard the spellcaster, and says, we could probably put the kobolds down. I imagine they'll be more helpful to us than to them. And so the wizard will drop the levitate spell, which causes it to slowly go to the floor. It's still tumbling because the kobolds are still just in there. So it ends up like hitting in the corner and just like falling onto the side. As the kobolds say, do you like gems? I got we can get you gems. We can, whatever you want. Just let us out.
Yeah, Fen's gonna go up to the cage at this point and have a conversation with him in Draconic. Just what is your connection to the Blue Dragon? Can you explain that at all?
The Mighty Razor.
Name.
Oh,
Yeah, the Mighty Razor. Yeah. What is your connection to them?
our people raised the razor from an egg. He will deliver us to glory and gold, so much gold.
I see.
But
Well,
these humans, not like us, put us in cages. They tell us to go do things. We do it because the razor also says to do those things. But I don't like taking orders from humans. Humans are smelly.
yeah, humans are smelly. You're right. It's true. Tell you, it's great that you've raised a dragon. Like, parenthood is wonderful. I'll be honest with you. It's a wonderful profession. The razor has gotten into a bad crowd, though. I think something happened.
And possibly he's infallible.
Mm-hmm.
Back in common. Yeah, this isn't going to work out. We can't.
Another one says slowly, yeah, infallible.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm like, we can't let them go because they're going to go back to helping the dragon. I don't know what the humane choice is here. Obviously, we don't want to leave them in a cage. That's creepy. But if we let them go, they are going back.
I was just like, we won't hurt you. We won't do anything. We'll do whatever you want.
What I want you to do is move on, find a different dragon with more pleasant
different dragon?
desires. Yeah.
Do you have another dragon egg? We can start a new clan.
See, I don't have a dragon egg, but I do understand that there was a group gathering dragon eggs. So maybe just, rescue one of those dragon eggs, raise it.
I do know a dragon.
One of the kobold, the other, there's 3 kobolds in here. The other one says, I saw where they had the eggs. And the one who's been talking to you turns around and says, well, why didn't you say something? Well, I didn't think it mattered. And he says, we could have had so many dragons by now. And then they start squabbling at each other in Draconic.
Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. And as they're squabbling, I guess I'm just talking over top of them. We all have a bad rap in the human world. Dragon and dragon-like creatures like us, they don't trust us in the human world. And that's not going to improve if we keep raising dragons to eat humans. So my proposal to you, find a dragon, encourage them to eat other animals that aren't sentient, and gather up items that aren't being used by other humanoids. Maybe trade, maybe barter. And then, we can start having better communications.
Are sentients like a type of human?
Well, humans, elves,
No
gnomes.
elves?
You know what a gnome is?
No.
You and me, we're sentient. We're having a conversation right now, right?
Oh, don't eat things that can talk.
Yeah, exactly.
That'll be a hard sell, but I think I can do it. He's like, but you just have to let us out. We'll do whatever you want.
For sure. We're gonna be hold that thought. So y'all, maybe I was wrong. Does sound like they might have had a change of heart. I think I've convinced them to steal and rescue some dragon eggs.
By this point, the wizard has come up and is looking into the cage, and she says, I think these things are lying to you.
It's possible. It's entirely possible they're lying to me.
Give things
I'm a
to
very
herself.
trusting person.
Isn't that the nature of kobolds? They're just doing what kobolds do.
But here's the I kind of want to give them a chance, just because they've seen what we can do to them and their fellow cultists, and they know if they betray us, it's not going to go well for them. Of course, another thought, why don't we leave them in the cage right now with some food? We deal with this thing. We come back, we rescue them from the cage after it's dealt with, and then it's not a problem.
Worth a shot.
You see that the human from the other party is already putting food into the cage, like just slowly putting it into the top. Just like almost no expression on the face, just to see what's gonna happen, just as putting things in there.
Mm-hmm.
And they will jump up at it and try to get it with their mouths.
And I back into Chronic, I will say, so I had a thought. I don't want to put you all in any danger. And, stealing the dragon eggs, that'd be very dangerous for you, right? I'm going to bring back a dragon egg to you to raise. So we're going to leave you here. We're going to give you this food. We're going to bring the dragon egg back. And then it won't even be a thing. And then you don't have to be in trouble with anybody. Me, I'm already in trouble. I can't help it. I'm a troublemaker. Happens. But you don't have to do that. You don't have to be in trouble. So you just stay here. You stay calm. We're going to give you enough food to make it through. and we'll be back with the dragon egg before you know it. What do you say?
Make a persuasion check.
It's another one of those zeros. 17 though.
17. Okay. They kind of chirp at each other. What you think might be cobalt slang. You're not quite sure. It's like you know that these are draconic words, but you don't know quite what they're getting at to each other. And they say, yeah, give us, yeah, we'll take the food. And the
Okay.
dragon egg.
Food is a win.
Yeah. We pass them in some of our rations. Well, Fen passes in some of her rations and such. It's not exactly edible, but it's better than nothing. Well, like I said, we'll be back soon.
Yeah, the human is like full on like goblin crouched on top and still putting food in. Like, and you can see the dwarf just like kind of shaking her head. She's just been kind of watching this whole thing unfold. And the tiefling is just like doing stretches, like ready for y'all to move on from whatever y'all are doing. But yeah, the kobolds, they don't hesitate to eat the food that you've given. They just kind of scarf it all down, but you're hoping that'll be fine.
It'll hold them over, right? That's how that works.
So I definitely want to talk to this tiefling. What time are we doing a break?
Oh, we should go ahead and do a break now. Thank
okay.
you for the reminder. Yeah. Yeah, let's take a break. We'll be back in whenever, 5 to 10 minutes ish. Or whenever we decide, get some water. I'm gonna make some coffee. Stretch out, move if you need to, and we'll be back.
See y'all soon.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Hope you've had a great little break. Got moved around a little bit, got yourself some hydration. So but we're back at it. Y'all have just caught up with some stragglers from the main group of cultists who were moving through here that just kind of stopped and had a little break. They were moving some kobolds. You made a deal with the kobolds to wait here until you got them a dragon egg so that maybe they would be better parents than they have been. Who knows how that'll go. There is a dwarf in full plate, a very curious spellcaster human, and a tiefling monk, powder blue, who has introduced himself as Bree. That would be BRI. So,
out of curiosity, how far out are the two cultists?
they honestly at this point, it's taken them a few minutes. Like it took him a few minutes to get his companion onto the cart because she is stunned. She starts to come to a little bit and help him, but it's taken a while. So they're still just getting on the cart to go. Getting the horse already. The horse is being a little stubborn, but so they are still here. But
Gotcha. All right, I'll cover that later then. In answer to your question, hopefully not within earshot of the cultists, so say, "Hi, I'm Fen."
and the Bree will say, "Pleased to meet you."
Hey, Bree. I'm Grief. You mentioned that you're looking for Vita. How do you know her?
Well, we are the Rambling Rogues. She was our leader until she didn't reach out for a few days, and we got worried.
Okay.
How do you know Vita?
She's from my hometown, where I'm living right now. She got taken the other day, and so we are trying to track her down.
So you all were in Brambles?
Indeed. And just like above the table, like I'm not going to mention the relation to Gift because I don't know if that's something that Gift wants really. So I'm just going to keep it like I know her.
For sure. Well, it seems like at least for the time being, we have a common goal.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing is we want to make sure that I think we're more concerned least we are more concerned about the people that got taken than necessarily like destroying the whole organization, although that seems to be what needs to happen at some point.
The human who is still like eyeing the kobolds says, yeah, they've been all up and down the whole region, taking things. Seems suspicious. As far as I can tell, they haven't been putting it back. They haven't bought anything. Doesn't even seem like they're paying the little foot soldiers. It's all based on devotion. It's very strange.
I mean, you could probably gather from how all that broke down. I'd really rather this come to as little bloodshed as possible, although I do understand that if they start fighting, we need to protect our lives.
At this
Well-
point, Gift comes out of hiding, nodding.
Oh yeah, you've been hiding the whole time. So okay. Billy Bob will come with you and to kind of back you up. He says he'll say, "Hail, friends," and kind of wave. And seeing that it seems mostly like no one has pulled weapons on each other yet, so but about this point the cultists are in the cart, and the cart goes off back towards Brambles. Well, actually, y'all are. Let me think where y'all are. Yeah, it'll be heading towards Brambles.
Once it's about 5 minutes down the road or so,
Mhm.
I am going to just send another quick telepathic message to the dude because I need to make sure he's still within a mile. Say, remember, farming looks good on you, and I'm always watching.
Poor guy.
You get like this distinct like sense of fear. Like he doesn't quite get the telepathy thing. You just get back this yeah. You've made your point.
Potatoes. It's a good life.
And now that guy is haunted.
He's a very much who's asking kind of guy now.
Gift writes on her chalkboard, "You work with my sister?" Pointed at the lot of them.
Bree will nod and say, "Yeah, we've been kind of just roaming around for a few years now, doing things here and there. We've actually been tracking this group. They were a little smaller not long ago. They've picked up a little steam. Beetha was worried. She went to, I think she said she had a sister, and then she yells out, hey Brett, didn't she say she had a sister?" And the dwarf will just nod. Yeah, a sister she was concerned about, but then she didn't send anything. She hasn't come back. We went to Brambles where she said she was going to be. The town was a mess, but she wasn't there.
She got kidnapped by a blue dragon.
Well, that tracks. Was she fighting it?
Gift shrugs. She can't really tell.
Yeah, she doesn't know how to lay low ever. But can't help but love her.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think your compatriot Gift's sister was the real reason that the group was in that town, though.
Did you say Gift sister?
Yeah, I mean,
Gift
Gift
said that-
Gift
self-identified.
came out and said, "You
Oh,
work with
yeah,
my sister."
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry. In one out here. Yeah.
No
sorry.
worries.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. She says, "Oh, so you're the sister." Now, what did you say, Silver? Because my brain got really distracted.
I was just saying, I don't think that that Vitha, is that the right name? What is the name?
Beetha.
Vitha. Mhm.
Vitha. Okay, I don't think Vitha. What was the drive of the group that came into Brambles?
Oh, absolutely not. Trouble just seems to follow her anyway, but all joking aside, I know she was probably helping people, protecting people, and well, she says she was probably protecting you, huh? And she looks towards you, Gift. Um,
Gift nods.
well,
I mean, we were all trying to protect our town.
Gift shrugs.
She's Bree says, okay. She says, well, I guess introductions are in order. That's Brett. Brett waves. That's Lynn. It points to the one who's now like kind of taken a different angle and sat down like crisscross applesauce and is taking notes about the kobolds. She doesn't wave. And I'm Bree. We're mostly been based out of Zarkan, but kind of been all over. As Zarkan is the capital of the Southern Reach.
Okay.
Which is one of the 5 kingdoms of man.
Okay.
All right. Well, I don't know how you want to do this. If you want us to follow your lead, or if you want to follow our lead, but I think we're both heading in the same direction. We want to make sure Vitha's safe. They took a couple of other villages too. We want to make sure they make it back to Brambles. And hey, who knows? Maybe there's some nice items that we can get back to Brambles too, so that the town doesn't collapse.
Bree will say, well, honestly, we're kind of stepping in your turf. We'll follow your lead for the most part. But we'll try not to get in your way. But our priority is Vitha. Based on what we've been tracking, there's a lot of you aren't familiar with who these people are, right? What do you know?
Fenn's gonna look over to Billy.
Billy Bob is he's just kind of standing there. He's been just listening. He's like, he says, I, from what I can tell, they like dragons. They are taking people's stuff. No one knows why. And a lot of people are very upset about this.
Gift writes, I think they're building a horde. Races it. Or they're building arms, or they're making weapons. It's all metal.
Well, you say that and Bree groans and just like tosses a coin over to Lynn, who just like grabs it and says, yeah, I thought it was weapons too. Lynn seems to think it's a horde as well. And Lynn says, it's the only thing that makes sense, but it's a little too big to be for a normal dragon. Don't know what they're looking for. Also, the eggs that's a strange variable.
Yeah, we thought that was a little odd. Based on the dragon that we actually saw, do I know how young or old that blue dragon is?
You would know that was an adult. So,
okay.
I want to say adults are, well, I mean, they're adults from about 100 years old onwards to up like 800. So somewhere, could be anywhere in there. Okay. You could make a history check since you know a name.
That's a good point.
11 plus something in history. Oh, hey, 16.
16. You're not familiar too much of the dragons of this area, but dragons, especially dragons that have names like that have common names, they're pretty well known because the word travels about them. You would say you think this one's probably no more than 200 years old.
Okay.
Young by dragon standards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Probably didn't get, probably wasn't given a name until it was already an adult for a while. So the stories have been kind of circulating 40, 50 years.
Okay. What I'm knowing that, Fenn is going to say, well, one of two things is happening. Either it's just starting their horde, or maybe there's a higher up dragon that they happen to be working for. It's unusual for dragons to work together in that way, but based on the conversation I had with the kobolds, they seem to be implying there was some sort of higher up power as well.
Yeah. Let's walk and talk.
Yeah.
Billy Bob says, we actually have a cart if y'all are interested in taking a load off. And we'll kind of gesture for y'all to all head back to the cart and continue on the road.
Mhm.
Lynn will slam her notebook shut and put it in her cloak and just kind of walk, looking downwards the whole time and just walk. She's got like messy, like strawberry blonde hair. And the Brett, the dwarf, she will kind of follow. She's got like raven black hair, like partial beard, and she has some sort of sun motif, holy sim imagery on her armor.
Okay.
But yeah, they will follow you to the cart, and Bree will actually Lynn will explain. She says, my working theory is that there's possibly a wizard, somebody with a lot of resources. This cult, this group, cults of dragons show up occasionally here and there, but there's one that's older, that's rumored. They call themselves the Restoration, and they've picked up steam. They believe dragons once ruled the world and should again.
Gift looks confused.
It's a confounding thought. No.
Well, that sounds like a good idea, she says with utter disdain.
I don't know what's precipitated the increase in followers. That's another variable.
Well, you already know about the dragon eggs. We should probably pass it along to you so that you are not stunned. They do have amongst their ranks creatures that were once something else that are now more dragon.
So it's true.
Yeah,
Draconic apotheosis.
We've run into a pretty nasty draconian a couple of times. So we expect that he will be amongst their ranks again, honestly. His lightning breath hurts quite a bit. So just, don't stand in a straight line with him.
Noted. Bree will say, so it's true, it's not a dragonborn. Well, that's certainly interesting. Hopefully we can just sneak into this place and figure out what's going on. Maybe if we can figure out where they're taking things, that'll be more useful.
Yeah. I mean, like, we could destroy all of this, but I suspect this is not the end goal for sure. That wouldn't help a whole lot.
Bree will say, yeah, I imagine we're dealing with middle management at best. We're kind of, Ravenhold is nice and everything, but it's, not a big place. Imagine whoever this big boss person is. Maybe they got other places they need to be, other important places, who knows? But I don't know. Lynn knows a lot more, and I don't think Lynn knows at this point, who is in charge. Lynn does not respond.
Lynn is a hashtag helper.
Yeah.
So, out of curiosity, how did you end up getting? What was the instigating factor into you all looking into this group? I know your compatriot being kidnapped by them is one thing, but like, what was the first inciting incident for y'all?
Bree says, when we were in a village near Zarkan, and same kind of thing happened. Black Dragon flew down, didn't do anything, didn't demand anything, but kobolds, people in masks and robes, people taking money. We weren't there in time, but it's like a pattern at this point.
You said that was a black dragon specifically.
Yeah, Black Dragon in that case.
Huh.
Different colored dragons don't usually work together, right?
Are you asking above the table or in character?
In character.
In character.
Gift shrugs, knows nothing.
I mean, the thing is, the dragons are like anybody else. Certain chromatic dragons, they're rumored to be too greedy to work together. But honestly, there have been pacts that have been made in the past. Historically, we know this to be true. So they have the capability of working together. Those broker ships are very fragile. Any small move on one's part and it all falls through. But if they see that they have a mutual goal at hand, they've been known to work together.
Oh, fantastic. First it was one dragon, and now it might be a horde of dragons.
Yeah.
Lynn like lays fully flat on the floor of the cart, looking up at y'all, and says, "It's always chromatic though, never metallic. Missing metallic dragon eggs, but never in any of these raids has there been a metallic dragon. It's all very interesting."
Yeah, it's one of those delicate things. Like, there's rumors. I will be honest. As a gem dragonborn, I'm kind of always stuck in the middle here. But a lot of people say the metallic dragons are too good to harm humankind. I think it's maybe that they realize that humanoids like us can band together and wreak havoc on them if they make us too angry. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think it's not necessarily just benevolence on their part.
Gift writes, bears don't eat mice because it's not worth the energy investment.
Bree will absolutely nod at that. So I guess the question is, what's in it for the chromatics then? Mysteries. And she leans back. And this is the first time Brett has spoken and says, "It's clearly the work of dark gods."
Bafflement. Like unhinged, like, how did you get from A to D? It's written all over her face.
Just like the absolute what the fuck.
I don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about the gods, so yeah. I mean, I guess it could be making deals with some of the deities. It can happen.
It's a weird stretch.
Yep. Bree just says, "Yep, that's about what I expected."
Is he always like this?
Bree just looks at Brett and just says, "Brett's having a hard time right now." And just clearly wants to say more, but like Brett is right there.
Right.
But Brett is like looking into the distance, like middle distance stare.
Brett, you good, dude?
Brett comes to a little bit and says, doesn't say anything, just nods. Make an insight check if you want to.
Shit, insight. Yeah, plus 0. 7.
Yeah. You just like pat.
Anyway.
Yeah, so
Gift starts like considering, not talking, of course, but it's just sort of thinking about, if I was a cult holed up somewhere, I'd want it to be as comfortable as possible. So I'd want it to be around water, ideally on a hilltop Like, just starts singing to herself how she might go about this. And so, without any like proof of this, she decides what we're looking for is a large hill with a high spring and a switchback path, because that's what you would do. So that's what she's going to look for.
Okay. Which is about at the point where y'all are. Billy Bob makes the turn into following the instructions given by the cultists, and you find almost the exact opposite of that.
Excellent.
It is a muddy field left fallow, like just completely overgrown, and a river or like a ravine has like eroded part of the hillside, and there's a like this muddy carved out area, and within that area tents have been put, as you kind of like, you can kind of see them from here, but you know there's more over a ledge that you are not approaching yet. It seems like this camp was meant to be kept out of sight. So it's like if you're up on from the main road, you can't see this at all, but from this road here, you see a camp of probably 60 to 100 people easily in this camp.
Oh, shit.
You see cultists practicing spear techniques. You see give me perception checks actually.
21.
Boop, boop. There you are.
17.
17.
Oof, there it goes. Hey, 19.
Billy Bob is also not proficient in perception, but he got 15, so that's not bad. And so you honestly, you all rolled okay, except for the person who was imagining a completely different scene.
I got a 17.
Oh, you got 17. I heard something else. Sorry. You got 17?
I'm disappointed, but I saw it.
Yeah, you did see it. You did see it. Okay, everyone saw this. So, there are just like pens and cages full of kobolds, and with disgruntled guards guarding them. Let me look up something. No. Okay. Thunder cracks in the area. It's not been thunderstorming. So
fantastic.
but thunder
There's a blue
cracks
dragon.
here. Yep. And you see, yeah, there's tents, there's like a stockade, and there is Vitha just in the stocks in the middle of this encampment.
And I'm just curious, I just want to make sure we don't see the people that Fenn scared off earlier, correct?
No, you do not see them.
Yeah, they were headed a totally opposite direction, I believe.
I just want to make sure they didn't play any, sneak about type thing.
Good call.
All right, cool.
It's a good call.
No, you do not see them thoroughly scared.
So Grief will whisper, I think we need more people.
Mhm.
I don't know how the hell we're going to do this.
And Bree says, clearly it's a stealth mission, as like the shadows like warp up around her.
I don't have stealth.
Are the cultists
I'm
wearing
in a
any
wheelchair.
insignias or whatnot?
They aren't wearing insignia, but they are wearing very distinctive armor. The leather armor, it almost looks like robes, but it looks like it's meant to like emulate like dragon's wings or something, but it's this leather kind of cloak. They all wear this kind of similar armor.
Okay, and what is the most generic, like what is the most populous age, like demographic, the species age?
For this group, it seems to skew younger adult, human.
Okay, so Gift is the most generic possible young adult human wearing that armor.
You have been wearing that armor. You have that armor. You got a set of it, right?
Oh, is it the same armor that I pilfered? I'm literally wearing it. I was just going to use my chain self because I can look like I'm wearing it.
I forgot about that. That would have been some questions, but we'll say we just moved right past that. Everyone vouched for you. It's okay.
Fair enough. Okay, well, I'm still going to be like the most generic possible, like clear member of this cult.
Okay. Um,
Is it just like soldiery looking, strong looking, whatever normal type people?
it that mostly what you see is that because there's like they're out in formation practicing like spear techniques, clearly like somewhat militarizing.
But there aren't like elderly people or anything like that.
Not so much in this group, not that you can see. Those who skew older seem to have like um you see a couple people who are a little bit older. As you're watching, they tend to be around the draconian that you've seen, who is clearly very much the person in charge of this camp.
Okay, and any other mobility devices or mobility device users?
Device users. I'm going to say there's at least one person in a chair. It's a dangerous world.
They're her combat wheelchairs. Someone else is going to have them.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Lynn just still laying on the floor is like, we're going to have to infiltrate again, aren't we? And Bree says, Vitha was much better at assuring you that it was going to be okay. I don't know what to tell you, kid.
I mean, I'll tell you this. If all else fails, they look pretty fragile. We'll be all right. Although that, pointing up the lightning, I think that's part of why. You ever heard of the story of the albatross? The albatrosses, when they die on a ship, are bad news because they've died. Metallic dragons, when they die, affect an area poorly. Chromatic dragons, when they live, affect the area poorly. I think that might be why metallic dragons have a natural affinity to make places better normally. So, of course, humankind are like, yeah, great, welcome in. Chromatic dragons possibly turn to evil because everyone is upset when they see them from get-go.
Does that match with what we were told? Just making sure, because that wasn't my memory of it. Just so I'm just out of character checking.
That is true. That chromatic dragons tend to have what humans and humanoids would consider a negative effect on the region.
Okay. Cool.
But it's really just them making it more hospitable for themselves.
Okay. Well, that tracks too.
Yeah. Like blue dragons like a lot of lightning. They like a lot of holes in the ground. They like that kind of stuff, but people don't care for that. People don't like when their cornfield falls into a sinkhole.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
before we move on from here, Grief will. I have a masquerade tattoo, so I'm gonna use that to disguise self, to look like the appropriate clothing, and I don't know if I would stand out too much as a tiefling, so if that would make me stand out, then whatever would not make me stand out.
Looking at this group, there's at least a couple of tieflings there. Like a tiefling
Okay,
isn't
cool.
too out of place pretty much anywhere you go in this world.
Okay, then I will put on. I'll put on like a generic, the random face that's not my own. And I don't know if you need to know. It's a DC 13 to discern the disguise.
Okay. Yeah, good enough. Let me look up something. Lynn will actually sees you do this and kind of scrambles up and looks you in the eye and says, "That is really cool." And she opens up her book and reads something off, and she changes into the cultist man that you had scared off. She says, "It's a really good idea. Why did no one tell me I could do that? Tell me that this would be useful." She still sounds the same. She didn't change her voice at all. So, but she cast disguise self on herself.
Has the spell, just not the talent.
Yeah, I would insight check that, but I've got a 0. Fascinating.
Yeah. So
Billy, do you have anything to hide yourself? They seem to know you pretty well.
He looks. He says, oh, fine. And he will take off his hat. He'll like gently put it into his pack. And he seems to begrudgingly do it. Like,
This hat is my life.
I believe you made me take off my hat.
and
I'm just asking. I mean, I can't disguise myself. I'm honest. I'm going to be honest here. I'm just going to try to keep to the shadows as best I can, Billy. I just wanted to see if you were joining me or if you had a way.
he says, I tend to get caught a lot, as I'm sure I have told you. But
Oh, that's right.
he will his hand turns skeletal for a moment as he does the somatic components of a disguise self spell as well. And he will change into just some dude. He's just some guy. Yeah, he doesn't change into the exact face of anyone you've seen, but he has disguised self, and he changes into the robes of just the generic riffraff cultists. So that's 3 people with disguised self and 4 people. A shadow monk and a rogue, and then there's the cleric in full plate mail.
I've been this character so many times. I have such empathy.
Wait, is that the dwarf?
Mhm.
Okay. I made bad assumptions. I guess I didn't realize she was in full plate.
Actually, I think she might be in scale mail, but it's still like
Loud.
disadvantage armor. It's loud.
Yes. Good to know.
Let me see. Actually, I might not have given the character armor, but that's fine. That's okay. She has disadvantage on stealth, so but what she will do is she does not have good spells for any of the sneaking or anything. That is not her job.
Somebody else does that shit.
She saying so again, she's a person of very few words, but she gets real focused that y'all are all like being strategic, and she says, I will stay here on the ridge here. If anything happens, she like puts fire around her hands and she says, I can make a distraction.
Perfect.
And as we prepare to sneak into a camp full of cultists, I think that's what we're gonna call it for tonight.
Very nice.
Yeah. Excellent. I love playing this game. Love running it.
Very solid.
Got to meet your sister's adventuring party.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that.
Cool. So thank you everyone who decided to join us and on our little adventure here. We will do our little sign-offs. Silver, why don't you kick us off?
Hey there, everybody. I am Silver_Bulette here on Twitch as well as at YouTube. I just recently finished up the Capes and Caverns season 1. You can find all of that over on YouTube. That is a superhero D&D. I was going to say podcast, but it was live streamed. So video of us doing the thing. Any rate, you can watch all of that. It was a lot of fun. We're going to get season 2 kicked off here shortly. Otherwise, you can find me as the host of All the Webs of Stage, which is a short play podcast, about 5 to 10 minute plays that we do once a month. That should be getting started again soon once I deal with getting settled in places and such. Yeah, but I also TikTok every once in a while. All the Webs of Stage, just one word all slammed together. So you can find me there.
Awesome. Jaden.
Hey, you can find me on most social media under the username Fat Sapphic Bro. I do a lot of stuff on TikTok, anything from social justice talk to self-care check-ins to daily life updates. But you can find me on most platforms under Fat Sapphic Bro.
Awesome. Penny.
Hello, Penny, and you can find me on Twitter anyway at Cetra777. Main thing I do is actually an offline thing. It is a queer drop-in center for queer youth on the harbor, so which is like Grace Harbor County, Pacific County, maybe even you could be far western Thurston and potentially benefit. So if you know anyone who could benefit, or if you're interested in volunteering, feel free to let me know.
Awesome. And I'm Archangelic, aka Mal. You can find me here Sunday nights at 7:30 Pacific, running this game, the Era of the Dragons, for these wonderful players. You can also find me on Twitter at Archangelic. I want to thank you all again for joining us for tonight's games. If you've missed any of our games, you can check them out on YouTube. You can find the link in the chat. It's also on the channel page. Let me go through some credits real quick. The music during the break and openings is from Arcane Anthems. You can find their music on Patreon. The combat wheelchair featured in this game is created by Sarah Thompson. You can find them on Twitter at Mustangs Art. The rules for the combat wheelchair can be found in the Twitch chat to the side. I'm going to put that in there. And lastly, thank you, .user, our lovely producer, for helping us stream this to all of you. Greatly appreciated. Every time you we're on the show, I appreciate that you're doing that. So thank you all again for tuning in. We love you, and we hope to see you again next week. Bye.
Bye. Thanks.